and welcome to episode 6 of the Cherry Bakewell Diaries. Just before we start, a quick thank you to everyone who's been watching the videos. We've now just gone over 300 views, which I didn't expect. It would be nice if I'd have had 10 views, so that's really good, so thank you very much. Thank you to those people who've subscribed as well. Today we're going to be making chocolate brownies, and they're lovely and gooey in the middle as well, so they're really delicious. So I'll just go and get all the ingredients ready and we'll be back and we'll get them done. Hello and welcome back. So we're just about ready to start doing the brownies. As you can see, I've got a saucepan on the hob with hot water in the bottom, just boiling away, just gently boiling away, with a pan on the top. And what we're going to do, we're going to add 200 grams of soft margarine to the bowl on the top. 200 grams. Now you can use butter, but as I've said in previous recipes, I like to use the soft margarine. Not only that, it's actually cheaper. And sort of the times we're in now, with the money being short, I find the margarine works better anyway. So into that we add 245 grams of plain chocolate, just broken into pieces. And then what we're going to do is we're going to melt the two together. Doesn't take very long. You've got your pan underneath boiling, so it doesn't take very long to heat through. Now I'm just using bulk standard plain chocolate. You can use the 70% one if you want, but I'm just trying to show recipes that are cheaper to do. So if you're on a budget, just use whatever chocolate you can get hold of, and the margarine works out cheap as well. But if you want to go ahead and use butter and expensive plain chocolate, then you can, it's up to you. But there are ways around it to make things cheaper. So as you can see, this is all melting now. Doesn't take very long at all. In fact, I'll turn the heat off now because that's hot enough. Just keep stirring it around. And there are additions that you can add to these brownies. So you can add some chocolate chips to them when the mixture's done. You can add, I like walnuts in mine, but I'm just going to show you the basic recipe today, and then you can add what you want. So you can add walnuts, you could add cherries, say chocolate chips, all three if you wanted to. They're just your own recipe, so you just do whatever you want to do. This is just the basic brownie recipe. And as I say, you haven't got to spend a lot. You can buy the cheaper ingredients and they work just as nicely. So as you can see, that's all melting now. It doesn't take that long. Just keep stirring it. Nearly there. It smells really nice. And they come, as I say, they come out really gooey in the middle as well. There we go, it's nearly done. And then I use a combined mixture of sugars. You can use all caster sugar if you want, but I find if you use some caster sugar and some brown sugar, it's a better mixture, because the brown sugar is what makes them gooey in the middle. So that's nearly done. It's been a lot of trial and error getting the different combination of the sugars together, but I think I've just about got it right now, because you don't want them too gooey, but you want them gooey in the middle. There we go, that's nearly done now. So what I'm going to do now is grab my tea towel, because we've got to take that off the heat. Let's move that saucepan out of the way. Now, what we add into this now is the sugars. So the first sugar is caster sugar. So we've got 175 grams of caster sugar. And you whisk that in. In fact, at this stage, what I do is I get a whisk and I whisk it, because it comes out better. And you'll see that it gradually starts to thicken up as well. And then we've got 125 grams of soft brown sugar. That's what makes them nice and gooey in the middle. So you mix all that in as well, give it a good whisk, get all the lumps out. And you can see now it's starting to thicken. And then we add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. That goes in. And then, so I'm whisking it quite a bit so we can cool it down a bit before we put the eggs in, because you don't want it too warm before you put your eggs in. So that's cool now. Right, so then we add 4 eggs, one at a time, and whisk them in. Just keep whisking because we don't want them to curdle, don't want to start cooking. And then the next one. So it's a total of 4 eggs. And you can see that as you're adding the eggs, it's starting to thicken up. The 3rd egg. Keep mixing. That's getting really nice and thick and velvety now as well. So, and the final egg. And then there's only one more ingredient to go in, which is the flour. And that's literally all it is. And then once you put your flour in, is at the stage where you can add your extra bits if you want. So you can add your chocolate chips or your nuts or your cherries or whatever else you want to put in it. Just make them your own. Now I'm going to switch back to the wooden spoon for a minute while we add our flour. And it's 115 grams of plain flour. Just plain flour. And then you fold that in until it's all combined. Try not to knock too much air out, because we want plenty of air in there so they rise up. And what they should do when they cook, they should be just firm enough on the top, just firm when you touch it, but they should start cracking on the top as well. And then I normally leave it in the tin for about 10-15 minutes before I turn it out. Now you see that's all combined now. Give it a good mix. And that's all nice and velvety and smooth. So as I say, at this stage you can add your extra bits if you want to. But I'm just going to do plain ones today. I've got a brownie tin that's just lined with baking paper. And you literally just pour it in. Pour it all in. That's it. Smooth it out. And this cooks on gas mark 4, which is 180 degrees centigrade for 35 minutes. Exactly 35 minutes. Different ovens vary, so just touch it on the top, and if it feels sort of firmish on the top but with a slight give in it, and it's got some cracks in it, then you'll know it's done. It should be slightly gooey and slightly wet in the middle, so you can always put a knife in and just check it. Okay, so 35 minutes, come back after that time and I'll show you it cooked. See you in a bit. Hi, and welcome back. So I've cooked the brownies, they've literally just come out of the oven, so they're still steaming, so they're still quite hot. But as you can see, they're lovely and gooey and sticky, beautiful brownies. So they're really, really delicious. Really easy to do, and they cut into quite a few from the brownie tin, so you probably get about 18 out of a tin. So they're really economical as well. So that's your brownies, so enjoy those. Next week we'll be doing a question and answer session. So if you'd like to get your questions in, any baking queries you've got, send me a message or an email on cherrybakewellworld@outlook.com, and I'll answer all your queries next week. And then the week after that, we'll do another recipe. Not sure what yet, maybe a savoury one. If you've got any suggestions of any recipes you want me to do, we'll do that the week after. But next week we'll do a question and answer session, and we'll answer all your baking queries. All right? So that's the end of episode 6 for this week, and I'll see you next week. And enjoy your brownies.